Yo, GameLeapers, how are we? Coach Cheese back again, and in this video we are covering the 8 most fun builds to try out leading up to Season 11. Now, if you want to spice things up and play League with a big-ass smile on that face of yours the next 10 minutes or so, listen up. Now, I was going to make this 10 builds because, 10 is a nice round number, but I'm not going to rabble on just because of that. So this will be to the point, informative, and most importantly, red hot. Now, it goes without saying that fun doesn't coincide with winning, so some of these builds are, yes, actually kind of broken, and I'll tell you why, but some of them might get you reported. So these aren't for the faint-hearted. Now, before getting into the builds, what builds have you guys been having a ton of fun with in the preseason? A bit of AD Katarina perhaps, or a bit of AP Ash? Let us know. Now, also a reminder that we have a massive $50 sale on at our website GameLeap.com. Our exclusive league content is the best on the net and is the only resource you need to become a better player and climb out of elo hell. Join thousands of others and click on the links in the description and comment section. Alright, let's get into it. So one build you guys have to try out is this hybrid lethality, AP, and AD setup. Now, it sounds whack and it kind of is, but actually performs well, funnily enough. So if you play Kai'Sa, this will definitely work, and if you tried on maybe Varus or Nico, it would also be a lot of fun. So this is the build order. Dustblade, Berserker's Grease, the Collector, Nash's Tooth, and after that you can build whatever you need in that game. Now, I think there are 2 items in this build some of you are shaking your head at. One of them, no doubt, is the Dustblade Rush. Let's think about Kai'Sa for a second. You're not really an ADC, let's be honest. I mean, I remember playing against Kai'Sa Jungle a couple of seasons ago. She's like an assassin but with kite because of her range. So Dustblade enhances that nuke potential. Now, once you buy a Dustblade, which is 3,000 gold, you're going to be at least level 6, of course, unless you're paying someone on the enemy team. So what you have to do to have the most fun you can with this build is to use your ultimate to detonate squishy enemy champions with the help of Dustblade, and the Collector comes in really handy too because of all the lethality. In the first 20 minutes or so of a game, lethality is like that boxer that comes out throwing punches as soon as the bell sounds, right? But they run out of gas the longer the game goes. This is why the whole early and mid game is hectic and fun, because your whole playstyle revolves around getting kills. If you think about Varus for a second as well, Dustblade is a fun choice because of the damage your Q can do, and you become a long-range sniper, which is always fun, let's be real. If your opponents don't have armor, you will be landing kills left, right, and center while beaming with joy. Now, the second item in this build that may have sounded a little weird is Nash's, but here's the thing. On Kai'Sa, for example, you need 100 ability power to upgrade your Void Seeker, and guess how much the Tooth offers? 100, that's it. Now, the on-hit damage is obviously great and fun to dish out, and works on a champion like Nico as well because it empowers your basic attacks and your abilities, which have decent enough AP scaling. Try this out in your games, guys. You will be smiling while bringing the herd. Now, another build you have to know about and give a try is one for pretty much any range attack damage champion in the game. Mirror Mana, your boots of choice, Eclipse, and the Collector. Now, after that, you can build a rapid fire cannon if you're a Jhin or a Draven, or you might opt for something more bruisery if you're a Jace like a Black Cleaver. Now, the reason this can work and be so much fun is because you start with a tier of the Goddess or buy one early on to stack, and you can upgrade this to a Mana Mune. Now, why is this fun? Well, you don't run out of mana, meaning you can run around like a headless chook, firing your abilities left, right, and center. Quick history lesson for you guys. One of the reasons a champion like Jhin was so popular towards the end of last season was because of the unlimited mana you had through Presence of Mind. Well, Rito changed that at the start of the preseason, so it now improves your mana regeneration, which isn't really that important, and no longer increases your mana pool. So Mana Mune and its evolution, Mirror Mana, solve this problem. But guys, here's the thing. This really comes into play later in a game, so you need something to stay relevant early, and that's where Eclipse and the Collector come in again. Like the previous build, these 2 lethality items give you the damage you need early on, so you can still blow up your opponents and scale at the same time because you have tier ticking over. This might not be, in fact it's not the most optimal build for attack damage casters in particular, but you will have a ridiculous amount of fun spamming abilities and doing a lot of damage. Alright guys, let's mix it up and throw an AP build at you, here we go. Now this one is for mages that have high base damages and are strong early on. So Lux, Bran, Morgana, even Syndra. So you start by rushing Sorcerer's Shoes, then Liandry's Anguish, which is your mythic, Zhonya's Hourglass, and then Demonic Embrace, the infamous Liandry's and Demonic combo. Now, why do you think you would rush Sorcerer's Shoes on these champions? And I kind of mentioned the reason. It's because these champions have good base damages and can afford to give up some of their magic damage as magic penetration damage. Now, it might sound a little weird, but let's compare a Luxie to an Akali Q, for instance. At rank 2, that Luxie is doing 105 magic damage plus 60% of your AP. On the other hand, that Akali Q at rank 2 is doing 55 magic damage plus a percentage of your AD and AP, which pales in comparison, right? So there would be no point rushing this on Akali, and we have a red hot top build coming up for her, so stay tuned. So after Sorks you go Leandries, and this is just more interesting than going Ludens, and yeah, that's the point of these builds, the flair. Now the mythic passive is really what you're after. One legendary item equals 5 ability haste, so have 4 of these and you have 20 extra haste. And what does this mean? Well, your abilities are up more often than they still tear our enemies a new one. Think of a Lux ultimate for example later in a game. I mean early game it will still be great. You would already have magic pen from Sorks and the haste from Leandries, and your 4 other legendaries mean it would be close to a 25-second cooldown. How can you not have fun with that? Here we go guys, the next build, and a quick friendly reminder to like the video to let us know you're enjoying the content, and this one is for all you bruisers out there who want to fight and maybe fight some more. So the build order: Trinity Force first, Ravenous Hydra, Cooldown Boots, Black Cleaver, Starrick Scourge, and Guardian's Angel. Now this is for those of you who want to kill off a game quickly. Once you get your Trinity Force, just fight whoever is in your lane. Legit, it's that simple. So if you're playing Darius, Camille, Fiora, Aurelia, get stuck into them. I mean it will still be fun as on Renekton and Aatrox and everyone else. Remember, I'm not saying it's optimal, it's fun. Now the other item you're wondering about is Cooldown Boots, and let's be honest guys, how many of you top laners play your champion for their auto attacks? Like who doesn't play Darius for his ultimate? It's sick, right? Who doesn't play Riven for her combos and outplay potential? Boots of Lucidity give you your abilities more often so you can have more fun. Good news by the way, in 11.1 the ability haste from Lucidities is increasing, so the more the merrier next season. Okay GameLeapers, the next 3 builds all revolve around the item Gale Force, and this item has one of the coolest actives in the game. There's a lot of playmaking involved, aka fun. Now if you play Lucian, Tryndamere or Rengar or anyone who can build Essence Reaver, listen to this first build path. So Gale Force, Berserker's Greaves, you could also go Cooldown Boots, Essence Reaver, and Infinity Edge. Now Gale Force is one of the most fun mythics in the game, right? And though it might sound kind of troll on these champions because, you know, most people build Kraken Slayer instead, it gives almost the same stats and a way more interactive active. See what I did there? So if you're playing Rengar, it gives you a dash so you can quickly dash into a brush to activate your leap. If you're playing Tryndamere, you can combo this with your spin and W. And if you're playing Lucian, it gives you another dash on top of your E. So all in all, this just screams outplay potential. As you probably know, Essence Reaver is built on these champions because of the passive and 20 ability haste, and Infinity Edge gives you a huge 3-item spike and honestly one of the highest burst builds in the game. Now the reason why is because at 60% crit, which is what you will have, your crits do more damage. Now think of this on a Tryndamere with that red bar. You will be cracking people over the head as hard as ever. Test this out guys, it's a fun one for sure. So the second iteration of the Gale Force builds is great for a few champions, but one in particular, Yone. And let me say this, in Korean Master and above, this has an 81% win rate. You start by buying Berserker's Greaves, then Gale Force of course, Storm Razor, Death's Dance, Infinity Edge, and finishing it off with Guardian's Angel. So most Yone players are building Immortal Shield Bearer, right, and going all out lifesteal, but it's not that interesting. This build is way more fun. The Gale Force active allows you to pull off some sick combos with your Gathering Storm and Fate Sealed, while still giving you the damage you need. Now you might be asking why Storm Razor? This is just a quick and cheap spike in power that gives you what you want. A bit of AD, attack speed, and most importantly, 20% crit, and a couple of useful actives that proc off your Q. Now instead of splashing 3,400 gold on a similar item, you save yourself 700 gold, and this still sets up that Infinity Edge spike, and you can buy Infinity Edge either straight after or delay it and build a tankier item that gives you more survivability like Death's Dance, but honestly, seeing as this video is about fun, build an IE after the Razor. It doesn't get better. Now the last Gale Force build is really for Graves, but you could build this on heavy AD hitters like Jhin and Draven too. Now after Gale Force you buy Berserker's Greaves and then Ghostblade, Infinity Edge, and then one more crit item like Bloodthirster or Mortal Reminder to make use of IE's passive. You will one-shot everyone, I kid you not. Gale Force gives you the gap closer and playmaking you need, the cheeky Ghostblade buy gives you that early mid-game lethality we've already talked about, and the crit items give you that scaling and insane damage. You will hit like an absolute truck. Now we may in this case have saved the best for last guys, and before we reveal it and get into why, you know what's coming, don't you? GameLeap.com. Hundreds of courses, guides, videos, you name it, made by challenger level players and coaches designed for you. Season 11 is just around the corner, so get an edge on your competition and get signed up. Links down below as always. So the final fun build guys is this: Lichbane, Sorcery Shoes, Rocket Belt, Zhonya's Hourglass. Now these 4 items are actually standard for most AP assassins, but the order in which you build them will give you even more enjoyment. So the Lichbane rush looks kind of toxic, but if you're playing Katarina, Akali, Echo, lots of high elo one tricks are actually doing just this. They are frothing the Bane. The reason? It's an amazing first item spike on these champions because applying the Spellblade effect is easy for them. On Katarina, for example, you can do so with your passive, your Shumpo, and Death Lotus. On Akali, you can do so with your passive, and on Echo, you can do so with your phase dive. You will make your enemies disappear, trust me. Now, Sorcerer's Shoes is obviously very standard, but still fun because it enhances your damage, and Rocket Belt is standard, but sounds a little out there for Katarina. Think of it like this. Night Harvester isn't great, neither is Riftmaker, well in fact it's the worst, so you're not losing anything by trying out another AP mythic that gives exactly the same stats as Harvester, and a more fun active. You can combine this with your Shumpo and even your daggers. I mean, it would look pretty troll rocket belting over a dagger, but that's the point. It would be fun as to try out. Guys, go for your life with these builds. You will have so much fun, and that's what most of us are after until the new season starts. Like the video and remember to subscribe and turn on all notifications, and I will see you in tomorrow's episode. This has been Coach Iggs. Peace.